Hello everyone and welcome to a session on Indian polity by M. Lakshmikant. इस सेशन में हम लक्ष्मीकांत की बुक का जो पहला चैप्टर दैट इज हिस्टोरिकल बैकग्राउंड ऑफ आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बड़ी ही क्विकली रिवाइज करेंगे बिकॉज यू ऑल मस्ट नो कि लक्ष्मीकांत इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बुक आपकी यूपीएससी सीएससी की प्रिपरेशन में. सो थ्रू दीज वीडियोज इट विल हेल्प यू टू क्विकली रिवाइज योर लक्ष्मीकांत. ओके, and if you like this session please comment below because then we will get a good idea if you want more such sessions or if you want something else. So बिना डिले के हम स्टार्ट करते हैं. सबसे पहली चीज हम देखते हैं इवोल्यूशन ऑफ ब्रिटिश रूल. सो in 1600 they came as traders in form of East India Company, right? In 1765 they became a territorial power because they got Diwani rights, that is rights over revenue and civil justice of Bengal, Bihar और उड़ीसा. Okay, in 1858 आप सब जानते हैं सिपाही म्यूटिनी हुई थी 1857 में. फिर 1858 में गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया गुड गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट लाया गया था और ब्रिटिश क्राउन ने डायरेक्ट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ले ली टू गवर्न इंडिया. ओके, एंड ऑन 15 अगस्त 1947 हमें इंडिपेंडेंस मिला फ्रॉम ब्रिटिश रूल, राइट? तो अब कंपनी रूल में हम देखेंगे फ्रॉम 1773 to 1858 you will see that foundations of central administration were laid during the company rule. कैसे? सबसे पहले देखते हैं रेगुलेटिंग एक्ट. सो अगेन जैसे नाम में देख सकते हो रेगुलेटिंग, तो किसको रेगुलेट करना है? ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी को. ओके, एंड हु वांट्स टू रेगुलेट? द ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट. ओके, ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट. So British government had enacted this act, regulating act, to regulate East India Company. So इस act में क्या provision था? That the governor of Bengal was designated as Governor General of Bengal, and governors of Bombay and Madras presidencies were subordinated to the Governor General of Bengal. Okay, and also to assist him, एक executive council बनाई थी 4 members की. Okay, and there was a Supreme Court at Calcutta. Okay. नेक्स्ट वॉज इंपॉर्टेंट एक्ट वॉज द पिट्स इंडिया एक्ट. ये 1781 में एक अमेंडिंग एक्ट आया था. सो बेसिकली इट वॉज टू रेक्टिफाई सम ऑफ द डिफेक्ट्स ऑफ रेगुलेटिंग एक्ट. सो 1784 में आया पिट्स इंडिया एक्ट. नाउ दिस एक्ट फर्दर एम टू स्ट्रेंथन द कंट्रोल ऑफ ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट ओवर द कंपनी, राइट, एंड इट्स एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. तो उसके लिए क्या किया गया? that now court of directors, under this act court of directors was to only handle the commercial affairs of the East India Company in India, right? And a board of control was formed, right? And this board of control had members from the British government, British cabinet, and they would supervise and direct all the operations of civil, military and revenues of British possessions in India. Next आते हैं चार्टर एक्ट्स. सो चार्टर एक्ट्स में आप एक टेंडेंसी देखेंगे, देर इज इंक्रीजिंग टेंडेंसी ऑफ सेंट्रलाइजेशन, दैट इज पावर एक कंसेंट्रेट की जाती थी एक ही टॉप अथॉरिटी के पास, एक ही एपेक्स पोजीशन पे. कैसे? सबसे पहले 1793 के एक्ट में देखिए. सो नाउ गवर्नर जनरल जो था उसको पावर दे दी गई थी दैट ही कैन ओवरराइड हिज एग्जीक्यूटिव काउंसिल. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस गवर्नर जो था गवर्नर जनरल, he got more powers and control over the subordinate, that is Bombay and Madras presidencies. Then in Charter Act of 1833 the Governor General of Bengal was designated as Governor General of India, so a central position, apex position to govern India. Okay, and who was the first Governor General of India? William Bentinck. Okay, next, now Governor General of India was given exclusive legislative powers. Okay, that means now the legislative powers were taken away from Madras and Bombay presidency. Okay, Madras and Bombay, now they did not have legislative powers, right? Now it also ended the activities of East India Company as commercial body. Next, the Charter Act of 1853, most prominent provision of this is the provision for a mini parliament, that is इस एक्ट के थ्रू जो गवर्नर जनरल की काउंसिल थी उसको एक्सपैंड कर दिया गया 6 मेंबर से, और उन 6 मेंबर को बोला गया कि इट फॉर्म्स द लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल ऑफ द गवर्नर जनरल, कॉल्ड एज इंडियन लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल. ओके, सो 6 अलग मेंबर के को बना के मिला के एक लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल बनाई गई फॉर गवर्नर जनरल. फॉर फर्स्ट टाइम सेपरेट काउंसिल वाज मेड फॉर द लेजिस्लेटिव फंक्शन. ओके, next important aspect of this act was open competition for selection and recruitment of civil servants and local representation in legislative council, right? That is, ये जो legislative council बनाई गई थी 6 मेंबर की, इसमें 4 मेंबर जो हैं वो provincial governments select करके nominate करके भेजेंगी. नेक्स्ट द क्राउन रूल. ऑब्वियसली सिपाही म्यूटिनी के बाद गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट 1858 आया. दिस एक्ट अबॉलिश द ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी and transferred the powers of the government, territories and revenues to the British Crown. तो अब पूरा जो रूल है इंडिया का, that is directly under the British Crown. That's why गवर्नर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया को हमने अब डेजिग्नेट कर दिया वॉइस रॉय. वॉइस रॉय, सी डेजिग्नेशन में चेंज करने का सिग्निफिकेंस ये है, बेसिकली वॉइस रॉय इज directly under crown. Okay, viceroy is directly under crown. Okay, and this was under the British government. So viceroy is a direct nominee of the crown, directly under the crown. Okay, Lord Canning was the first viceroy of India. It also abolished the earlier board of control and court of directors, and a secretary of state for India was, office was set up, and this office had the, all powers and authority with respect to government of India. Okay, and a 15-member council was also set up to assist the Secretary of State. Now इसके बाद आते हैं Indian Councils Act. So in Council Acts की, mainly they've provided for association of Indians and also decentralization. So सबसे पहला है Council Act of 1861. So how it provided for association of Indians? जो nomination था, right? So nomination of Indians in Viceroy's Council as non-official, Viceroy's Legislative Council as non-official members. तो अब Viceroy की जो Legislative Council है उसमें Indians can join as non-officials. They will be nominated by Viceroy as non-officials, right? Next, restoring the legislative powers of Bombay and Madras Presidency. So जो powers 1833 के एक्ट में मद्रास और बॉम्बे प्रेसिडेंसी से रिगार्डिंग लेजिस्लेशन ले ली गई थी वो अब वापस दे दी गई हैं. ओके, और न्यू लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल्स बनाई गई बंगाल, नॉर्थ वेस्ट फ्रंटियर प्रोविंस और पंजाब में, राइट? एंड इट गिव रिकॉग्निशन टू पोर्टफोलियो सिस्टम विच वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड बाय लॉर्ड कैनिंग. सो पोर्टफोलियो सिस्टम बेसिकली एक सिस्टम है जहां वेयर a person from the Viceroy's Council was given a final authority to decide the matters under him or her, right? Empowered the Viceroy to issue ordinances. Okay, ordinance की power भी Viceroy को इस act ने दे दी. Okay, next was Indian Council Act 1892. So it increased the number of additional members, in central and provincial legislative council. It increased the functions of legislative council. So now legislative councils could discuss the budget and also ask questions to the executive. Okay. And it provided for nomination of some non-official members to central and provincial legislative council on the recommendation of certain bodies. So this was basically a way of limited and indirect provision of election. Although election word use नहीं किया था, but again कि कुछ members central और provincial legislative council में कुछ bodies के recommendation पे elect होंगे. Now Indian Councils Act 1909, also known as Morley Minter reforms, it increased the size of legislative councils further. Right, it increased the functions, and for the first time, this is very important, for the first time Indians were associated with executive council. First time Indians executive council में entry मिली after the Indian Council Act 1909. Please remember this, right? It provided for communal representation of Muslim by separate electorate. Separate electorate means in that electorate only Muslims will contest as well as only Muslims will vote. So that was separate electorates. Right, and it also provided separate representation for presidency, corporation, chamber of commerce, universities and zamindar in the legislative councils. Next is Government of India Act. Now this act intended to create a federal setup. These acts intended to create or move towards a federal setup. So सबसे पहला आता है Government of India Act 1919. So under this act you will clearly see there is a division of power, that central और provincial subjects अलग कर दिए गए थे और सेंटर और प्रोविंसेस के बजट्स भी अलग कर दिए गए थे. डायरकी वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड एट प्रोविंस. सो प्रोविंशियल सब्जेक्ट्स दो पार्ट्स में डिवाइडेड थे, ट्रांसफर्ड एंड रिजर्व्ड. सो ट्रांसफर्ड सब्जेक्ट्स वर कैरिड आउट बाय द गवर्नर ऑन द एड एंड एडवाइस ऑफ मिनिस्टर रिस्पॉन्सिबल टू द लेजिस्लेचर, and reserved subject by carried out by the governor on his own without being responsible to the legislature, right? And for the first time bicameralism was introduced and direct election was introduced in the country. So first time bicameralism or direct election कब आया? Government of India Act 1919 में. Okay, and with regard to direct election जो franchise थी, it was very much limited on the basis of property, tax and education. Now 3 out of 6 members of executive council were to be Indians. Earlier you must have seen that पहले 1909 में entry start हुई and now it has been again increased in executive council. Also, it provided for separate electorates for Sikhs, Indian Christians, Anglo-Indians and Europeans, right? It provided for establishment of a public service commission which was ultimately established in 1926, a federal public service commission, okay? Next was Government of India Act 1935. Now this act was outcome of the Simon Commission report and the three RTCs, as well as the MacDonald Award and the Pune Act. So MacDonald Award basically, gives separate, it was for, it provided for separate electorates to depressed classes. But Gandhiji was against this, and then Gandhiji and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar came to an agreement that instead of separate electorates, we will have joint electorates. Okay, joint electorates with reservation for depressed classes. Okay, so now this Government of India Act 1935 provided for All India Federation of Provinces and Princely States, although this never came into being. Okay, it provided for division of power, federal, provincial and concurrent list, and the residuary powers, please remember this, residuary powers were with the Viceroy. Next important thing was it provided for provincial autonomy, that is provinces were autonomous in their sphere. Okay, अब उनके sphere में there would be no interference from the central government. Okay, provinces were autonomous, and also provided for responsible government, whereas diarchy at provincial level was abolished. Okay, so diarchy at provincial level was abolished. There was no responsible government and provincial autonomy at provincial level, right? And there was diarchy at center, that is center there were two subjects now, reserved and transferred. Okay, and they were governed as already told. Okay, it also provided for establishment of RBI, federal court and public service commissions. So public basically provided for federal public service commissions, it provided for provincial public service commissions, and it provided for joint public service commissions. And ultimately, in India, 1947, there was India Independence Act. So it ended the British rule in India. It provided for partition of India and creation of two independent dominions. Okay, dominions. जो Constituent Assembly थी, it was empowered to frame and adopt constitution, as well as जब तक constitution नहीं बनता, जब तक legislature नहीं बनता, तब तक they will legislate for their respective territories. And till the time constitution आता नहीं है, each dominion will be governed as per the provisions of Government of India Act 1935, right? Governor General of India and provincial governors were now made the nominal head. Prior to this they had certain powers, but now they were totally made nominal heads. It abolished the office of Viceroy and the office of Secretary of State, and it proclaimed the lapse of British paramountcy over Indian princely states. So this finishes our session on the chapter 1 of the Indian polity by M. Lakshmikant. If you you find this session fruitful, please like and subscribe, so that we can we can make more sessions like this. Thank you very much. See you again next.